Do you ever watched a movie about escaping out of prison and wondered if it actually happened in real life? Well, that's exactly what we'll talk about in this video, so make sure you watch it to the end. A man named Frank Morris, a genius criminal who was known for escaping from prison before. So to make sure he would never do that again, in January 1960, they sent him to Alcatraz, a high-security prison that sat in the middle of an island surrounded by freezing water. It was so tough to the point they called it the Rock. Inside the prison, he met John and Clarence Anglin, two brothers from Georgia who got locked up for bank robbery. All three of them realized that this wasn't a prison, it was a nightmare. Imagine waking up every day in a small cell surrounded by concrete walls, metal bars, and guards walking by you every hour. And the hardest part is that outside your window, you can literally see the lights of San Francisco. But between you and freedom is over a mile of freezing water, which can kill you in minutes. That's exactly what Alcatraz was, a place designed to break your spirit and make you lose all hope. Most men inside the prison gave up, but not Frank Morris. He was always looking for a way to escape, so he started noticing small things, like how the air vents in the back of the cells were old, how the concrete around them was crumbling. He even watched the guards and memorized when they walked by. And slowly, an idea started forming inside his head. So he told the Anglin brothers and they agreed to help him. First, they needed some digging tools. So they started stealing, a spoon here, a piece of wire there, so that they could test if there were weak spots inside the prison without nobody finding out what they were planning. Every night, after the lights went out, they started digging using sharpened spoons and a handmade drill they built from a stolen vacuum cleaner inside the prison workshop. Using these simple tools, they were scraping away at the concrete around those vents. Bit by bit, month after month. And in order to not let anyone notice them, they'd hide the dust in their pockets and dump it outside during exercise. And to cover the holes they dug, they made fake vent covers, cardboard painted to look exactly like metal. Imagine, the guards walked by it every night, but they never noticed it. But still, there was a problem. Getting out wasn't enough. They needed time, so that they could disappear without anyone knowing they were gone. That's when they came up with a genius idea nobody had done before. They were able to make fake human heads using bars of soap and toilet paper, and they painted them with flesh-colored paint, and they added real human hair they collected from the barbershop floor as a final touch. If you looked at those heads from a distance, you would assume that someone was lying on the bed. But remember, it took them over a year to plan all of this. And the whole time, they knew if they ever got caught, it would be over. Despite all of that, they kept going. On June 11th, 1962, the escaping day had finally arrived. When the lights went out at 9:30, they started the plan. So first, they placed the dummy heads on their pillows. Then they crawled through the vents, into a dark corridor, climbed up a shaft to the roof. Then, using a drain pipe, they reached the outside wall. The moment they hit the ground, they took off running to the shore, where they had hidden a raft made from over 50 stolen raincoats stitched together by hand. They pushed it into the freezing black water and disappeared. Imagine all of that happened and nobody heard them. When the morning came, it was time to count the prisoners. A guard looked into a cell, realizing that 3 prisoners weren't moving. He felt something wasn't right. Then, another guard came and opened the cell to check if they were okay. When he touched the head under the pillow, it rolled onto the floor. Moments after, the alarm went off, sirens screaming, the guards searching every corner. But it was too late. Frank Morris, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin were gone. The FBI got called. Coast Guard sent boats around the prison and helicopters searched from above. They surrounded the bay for days. But all they found were pieces of the raft, a paddle, and a wallet with photos. That's it. The FBI later said they probably drowned, since the currents were too strong and the water was too cold. It was impossible for them to survive, so they closed the case a couple years later. But this was just the beginning. In 2013, San Francisco police got a letter. It said, "My name is John Anglin. I escaped from Alcatraz in June 1962. I'm 83 years old. Frank Morris died in 2008. Everyone was shocked, but the problem was that the FBI couldn't prove if the letter was real or fake. Then, in 2015, a photo showed up. 2 men in Brazil. Older, but they looked exactly like the Anglin brothers. And there's more. In 2016, scientists ran a computer model to analyze the bay conditions at that exact night, and they found something shocking. If the men left between 11 p.m. and midnight and paddled north, they actually could have made it. So it was possible, but no one could know what really happened that night. Did 3 men drown in the freezing water, or did they make it and start new lives? To this day, nobody has any answers. And the case is still open, waiting for someone to solve it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Just don't forget to like it and make sure you hit the subscribe button to watch more videos like this.